What's going on, guys? It's Will with Military Lawn Cuts, and in today's video we are going to be talking about how to handle the heat, especially in Texas lawn care. Now, no matter what state you're in, you will encounter a summer season. The temperatures get high, productivity gets low. How do you handle that? That's what we're jumping into today. Now, I know what you're asking. What credibility do I have to be able to share this knowledge with you? Well, that's a great question. So I personally, my wife and I, have built a $630,000 annual revenue business within the last 4 years, and we just opened up our second location, and I built that company with her help off the ground. I was out there, the one actually physically pushing the mower for the first 2 years, and still occasionally find myself going out, helping out the crews and teams during the summer like I did just a few weeks ago. So I personally have probably mowed hundreds, if not potentially maybe even 1,000 lawns, okay, over my 4-year period. And I also owned a lawn care company when I was younger, where my dad helped me hand out flyers and get a few customers. So I've had my fair share of small cookie cutter properties where you get in and out in 15 to 20 minutes. That is kind of our sweet spot of our mowing services. So with that being said, whether you are just starting out your business and it's you doing this as a side hustle, or you have crews underneath you and employees that you care for and that are a servant leader like you should be, to want to take care of your team as best as you can, I feel as though you'll find great value in this video. So let's jump into it. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is the start and end time, which is basically your schedule. So our schedule will fluctuate depending on the season. So during the winter and fall time frame, we generally go to from 8 a.m. to probably 4 to 4:30. But when the summertime comes, we cannot be out there at 3, 4, even 5 o'clock. It is just way too hot. Where we're located is just north of Dallas, about 30 to 45 minutes, in a town called Aubrey, okay? Over the last couple of weeks, it has literally been close to 100 degrees every single day. So we cannot physically be out there at a certain time in the afternoon. Now you could, but production's gonna go way down. It's gonna be demoralizing to your team or you, whoever's out there, the one pushing the mower. It's just not where you want to be. So what do? We move our start times up as early as we possibly can. So we have a lot of HOA communities where we do residential houses. We're about 95% residential. And there are noise ordinances in the state of Texas and in these towns and cities that say there cannot be any noise issues before or loud noises before 7 a.m. So we know that we can literally pull that mower right at 7 a.m. to get our day started. So what do? Well, we basically have our crews come in roughly about 30 minutes before that time. So instead of starting at 8 a.m. or even 7 a.m. where most lawn care companies would, our goal is to get our crew out there as fast as we can so they can start as early as possible to get the routes done before the heat of the day. We call that beating the heat. So we start our crews at 6:30 a.m. sharp in the mornings, and generally they're at their first property come 6:50, 6:55, able to top off their fuel and hit the ground running for the day to start right when the noise ordinance starts. To follow up to that, by the time that they generally get done, honestly, we're on a performance pay, so they're obviously working very, very hard. A lot of our crews will wrap up at 1:30 at the latest. So they're working from 6:30 a.m. till about 1:30. All right, moving on. So number 2 stands for proper protection equipment. So what does that mean? So you want to make sure you're taking care of your body, your team, your crews. So some recommendations that I can give to you are to wear long sleeves, dry wick, more of that sporty kind of feel to it. And I never really understood the reason why landscapers would wear long sleeves until just actually a few weeks ago. I was talking to one of our team members, and he said that when you wear the long sleeves and you sweat, what happens is when you get back into the truck with the AC going, it will make that material very, very cool. So yes, you do get hot because you're kind of wearing long sleeves, but although it protects you from the sun, but it does, like, there's not a lot of airflow, right? I was always a guy that wore the short sleeves, and wearing those long sleeves, when it gets wet, you get back in the truck with that AC blasting on you, and what that does is it really, really cools you down and keeps you cool in the summer heat. Now, also, definitely a recommendation, which I actually, Mike Andes got me on this as I was watching his 30-day challenge recently, but wearing the landscape brim type of hat with the neck guard on the back will keep you cool. And then again, you don't have to worry about any sunscreen or any of that nature. All right, number 3. So smaller properties or more breaks. Okay, now what does that mean? So our focus, our cookie cutter properties, we used to do really big properties. We had a 20-acre HOA community, and we also had an 8-acre property and a few kind of like 1-acre properties. Now, ideally, we didn't have the best equipment for that stuff, but I've had some team members that have come over from bigger commercial companies when they're mowing, and the concepts are still the same. So yes, you can get this big zero turn to make the job faster, but you still need to edge the property. Okay, you still need to weed eat the property. And when you're on a big, large property, you can't really take a lot of breaks. So what we do is we focus on small residential properties that are under 8,000 turf square feet. That is our sweet spot. We can charge the highest price for those types of properties. And guess what? They don't take as long as all those big commercial properties. So literally what we'll have is like a solo guy will go out and mow 10 to 15 lawns a day. And yeah, sure, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of walking. I mean, there's a lot of miles, it's physical, but what happens is every single property, he at least gets a 2 to 3 minute break to sit down in the truck and get some AC. When you're out on those large, really large properties, there's not much AC out there. I mean, you could go underneath a tree, get some shade, take a little break, but focus on smaller residential properties. That is the sweet spot for us. It's less physical. When we used to do a lot of fertilizing and weed control for the larger properties, those 50-pound fertilizer bags weigh a lot, and for you have to cut open and pour it in the spreader and then go out and push that spreader, or if you have a ride-on, whatever, you're still having to lug and sling these 50-pound bags and put 50 of these bags out on a property, to where when we're doing these small residential properties, we're only using a third of the bag. So it's super easy. Just pour 1/3 of that 50-pound bag and you're good to go. Now, if you do have those larger properties, then just go ahead and take more breaks to ensure that you're not getting overheated out there in the summer months. Number 4, so providing water or drinks for your team. Now, some options or things that we have done in the past are, so we have gotten those big kind of 5-gallon or 10-gallon water jugs. We've put them on each truck, and you put ice in there, fill them up with water, and they're able to get water while they're out on the routes. Some other options that we've done, one year we literally ordered an entire pallet of water bottles and just had the crews come and go and grab waters as they needed to go out and stay hydrated. This year what we're doing is we are providing liquid IVs that I've heard are really good, and it seems like the guys are really liking them. They're just little packets. You pour them into their water bottles and they're good to go. You can also provide like maybe a container or a water jug. So a lot of our local gas stations, I mean, you can go in there and get free ice from the machines. So what they'll do is, they'll just get, a 2 or 5-gallon water jug, and then they'll just go and get some ice from the gas station, local gas station. They'll pour it into those jugs. But those providing the water and the drinks will definitely help in the summer time frame. What we have found out of those 3 options, which is basically what I kind of just said, is the liquid IVs are kind of the neatest and the cleanest. So when we were doing the water bottles, we found a lot of empty water bottles in our trucks, in the beds, and so there's just a lot of garbage that was coming from it, because I mean, these guys go through 10, 15 water bottles in a day. because of how hot it is out here. Okay, number 5. So this sounds like a simple and easy one, but a lot of what I've heard business owners overlook this and don't take care of their team because of potentially the financial cost. So number 5 is having good AC in trucks. We buy used trucks, we don't buy brand new. So sometimes the AC might not be as blasting, as hot, or as cold as it should be. We've had employees that have come to us in the past that have said their previous employers and bosses had broken AC in the trucks and they didn't have any urgency to get it fixed. When you are doing lawn care out in the summer and it's 95 plus degrees, you need to make sure that your crews or yourself is cooling down in between properties. Otherwise, the production goes down. So you want to make sure that your trucks and everything are working just great. Now, I will tell you, we do have one of our trucks is an older truck. It's actually our first truck we ever bought for $4,000, and we paid it cash, and it's still in our fleet today, and it's doing great. Now, we all know that AC in the truck, and we've had it looked at a few times, but it just doesn't pump. It doesn't pump as cold as the newer trucks that we have. So what we do for our crews is that's like the last resort truck, okay? So that one doesn't get run 5 days a week all the time. That's kind of like our backup truck. But what we do is we focus on the trucks that have really, really good AC and make sure that our crews are taking those trucks as a priority over the ones that might not blast it as cool. All right, the final tip on handling the summer heat is going to be specifically for business owners that have team members or employees. So this is going to be delivering cold drinks to your crews. I cannot tell you how great this is for when the guys are out there, and obviously we don't do this every week or even every month per se, but when there's a week that we know it's going to be brutally, miserably hot, or our crews are behind and it's already super, super hot, what we'll do is we will take the time, if we have it, to go up and pick them up some type of cold drink, whether that be from the gas station, or what I really like to do, there's a place that's local to us, it's called Tropical Smoothie, and it's awesome because they're all natural. It's not any like dairy products, and a lot of it is like vitamin based kind of smoothie drinks. It's more natural. So and it's great too because it's a cold like slushy smoothie drink. So when I'm able to bring this out to the guys as a just a thank you for working hard and being out there in the heat and pushing through it, it cools them down internally when they're drinking the smoothie, and that absolutely helps. Number one, helps the morale of the team because here we are helping them out, bringing them a nice cold drink. That's great, and yeah, it just definitely helps everybody out get to where we want to go to accomplish the goals of the business. So with that being said, this is the 6 quick tips of what I and our company do to handle the Texas summer heat. Hopefully this helps you guys. If you found value in this video, please hit that like button. It definitely helps us out, me out, the channel out, reach more great business owners just like you guys. And yeah, just gets the value content out there. I'm curious if there's anything on this list that I'm missing. Please put it in the comments below. What have you guys found when you guys get into those summer months that are just like brutally, miserably hot? Like, what are you guys doing to battle the heat? Guys, my name is Will. I'm with Military Lawn Cuts, and I will see you next time.